My son today, Jacob, is 23, and at 2 years, 9 months, he was diagnosed with low functioning autism. Some of you may not know what autism is all about, but it's a spectrum disorder. And many people believe that the immune system got triggered. Some people think it was too much antibiotics, vaccines. Some people think it may be diet, genetics, they're born with it. We really don't know, but we do know that so many of our boys, our babies, our grandbabies are getting hit with this. And spectrum disorder goes somewhere between a low insult to the brain would be ADD, ADHD. Higher insult to the brain looks more like Asperger's, where the kids still have sensory issues, but they don't have, their cognitive skills are still pretty intact. And then autism is sensory skills aren't right, play skills aren't right, language isn't right, digestion isn't right. Like, it's pretty severe, where children with autism, they don't have receptive or expressive language. They don't know, like, when you call them to come, or they don't know how to talk. And there's lots of behaviors and tantrums because there's so much frustration. And there's many protocols we use as parents to deal with the autism spectrum disorder. And one of the programs I used for a decade was CARD, Center of Autistic Related Disorders. And we used an ABA program, Applied Behavioral Analysis, to help retrain the brain. And that's what we did. And we retrained the gut with gluten, casein-free diets and really strong antifungals and probiotics, because gut and brain go together. You got to heal them both. Well, we're doing all of this. And then at about age 13, Jacob gets his testosterone. And this happens a lot in our boys. We think everything's going well. Testosterone hits. And then all of a sudden they have mass OCD, anxiety. He said he had fire in his brain and he could not sleep at nights. And he did not go to school for 6 months because his brain hurt so much. He would spin over and over and over again. What happened to him is, in shop class, he didn't do it, but he thought, this is crazy, right? He thought he cut a little boy's leg off with the saw. And all he did for 6 months is spin that over and over and over again. And it wouldn't stop. And so we kept working through that. We put him on some some serotonin reuptake inhibitors like Prozac. He had to do clozapam for a little while to stop the fire. These are very aggressive drugs, but we're just doing our best to get his brain right. Well, now he's 23 and we're working through it all, but he still gets these attacks, these OCD attacks, this PTSD. Sometimes he'll cry in the bed to me and say, "Mom, my brain's on fire." And when those things started to happen, we added that X39 to our protocol. We put it right on his chest, and I'll explain more how this works in a little while, but we put one on his chest at night. We also, and this stem cell is regeneration and repair. We are repairing the pathways to his brain. We also put one E on, which stops inflammation in the brain. And we also added Nirvana. And Nirvana actually increases that dopamine in his brain. And lastly, when he's having sleep issues, we added Silent Night, because Silent Night elevates melatonin, which helps him sleep. And so for Jacob, he's either a 3-patch system, and let's face it, he's 23. He's not going to know where to put all these darn patches. Not going to ever happen. I say just put the 3 on your chest and go to bed. And when you wake up, you take them off. And that's what he does. And when he has trouble sleeping, the 4th patch he adds is Silent Night. And I am telling you, he asks every night for these patches now, because he says, "Mom, I fall asleep and I wake up and I don't have the anxiety and the OCD attack. I just feel better." And any kid on the autism spectrum disorder side of things, what's hard for them is to remember to do things. You have to physically and verbally prompt them on everything, so that he actually remembers to come to me to get patched at night. means that it makes a huge difference on the way he's feeling. And we've been adjusting his Prozac. He does anywhere from 2 to 3 a day to help with OCD. He's trying to get himself down to 2 a day because the side effect of Prozac in some people is erectile dysfunction. And my kid's only 23, and that's really hard on him. It's hard for his self-esteem. And I'm just talking about these real issues because it's real and hard, right? Who wants that for your kid, right? So we are trying to figure out how to make it all work for his brain and his body, right? And then also the clozapam, if you guys know anything about it, is highly addictive. And so now a couple weeks. And so we're just really excited that we're doing some things that are really helping my kid like make it in the real world as a man at 23.